Hello guys and welcome to this new video. Today we will be learning about synchronizing threads in Java. What synchronization means is making sure that two threads are communicating with each other and make sure that the execution happens without any inconsistencies. What inconsistencies means in simple words is that every time you try to create two threads that are running parallel, there may be changes in the execution or there may be changes in the output that we get within that code. Now let's say a private and count value is equals to, let's say, 0. Let's just write a method for a number increment. Let's say public void num increment. Let's say what we're doing is just making sure that count is incremented. So this is how we do. We have created an instance of the application class already, and let's just make sure, let's create another method for multiple threads. Let's say public void multiple threads. For example, let's just say the multiple threads method. Here, let's just create a thread th1 is equal to new thread. And if you create a runnable here, right here, let's just say new runnable and then public void run. We are overriding the run method for the thread, obviously. And let's just put a semicolon here so that there is no errors. Now, in this run, let's just say, let's print, for example, let's just see what happens when we print from 0 to, let's say, a large value like 1000. And in this, we'll just do num increment, the method itself. Now let's do the same thing again. So if I do this for, let's say, th2 again, and we are doing the same thing again. We're incrementing the num value, which is, whatever the num value is. Now let's just start both of these threads. Let's say th1, obviously start is how we start the execution of a thread. So if I just start, and if I do start for th2 as well, and we have started this. And now if I, and we'll also make sure that we're actually waiting for both of these threads to complete their execution. Let's say th1 dot join and th2 dot join. And let's just catch, for example, any exception. Let's just say exception E, and then let's just print what the exception would be. Let's say plus E, and let's say exception is, for example. There most probably won't be an exception, but we're just trying to wait for the threads to complete their execution. So what the join method here does is it waits for the th1 to execute and then starts the execution of th2. So if I right now, if I run the program again, you can see that the final value is 1934. Now if I run it again, it's 2002. If I run it again, it's 2002 again. And if I run it again, 2002. So what happens is this value constantly gets changed. So as you can see, again, it changed. So every time you run the program with multiple threads, the output value changes whenever we are working with larger values. Run it again, you get a different value each time you run this value. You may get the same value once or twice, but then again, the value changes. So to avoid this problem or this consequence, we use the keyword synchronized. So we use a synchronized keyword to actually synchronize something. What synchronizing means is we're making sure that both of these threads communicate with each other and actually make sure that the execution happens without any problems or inconsistencies in data. What an inconsistency means is the data that we are getting is changed every time we try to execute the program. So to fix the problem that we are facing right now, all we need to do is add the synchronized keyword for the incremented method. So if I say synchronized, and if I save this program and if I try to run it again, you will see that the final value is 2002 again. So what happens now is that after I have synchronized the value will not change and the value stays consistent and the data stays consistent. If I run again and again and again, it happens the same thing. The same thing happens again and again. So this is the use of synchronized keyword in Java You can also use synchronized with blocks. So if you have a code or if you have a block of code, you can just use the synchronized keyword and then start a curly braces and write the code within that synchronized block. So this is how we use synchronized keyword in Java, and also how synchronized keyword helps us with multi-threading in Java. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.